All right, so I am back and where was I? That's a great question. I don't know what I was thinking, but I decided to eat it's called corned beef hash or whatever. It's in a can. It's like meat and potatoes, but in a can, which doesn't sound good at all. But I was watching The Grinch and they were talking about, the last can of Who hash or whatever. So I thought to myself, hey, it's a great idea. Why don't I try why don't I try this corned beef hash, because the hash, the Who hash, the corned beef hash. So I thought, in the spirit of Christmas, let's try it. Guess what? Bad idea. Very bad idea. Um, I think that's what it was because I have been sick for the last, um, gosh, I've been sick since Monday night. It's now Wednesday, what is it, Wednesday night? So yeah, I don't even know. It's like food poisoning. It's food poisoning. So I haven't really been able to eat any food since then. Like a little bit here and there, but like yesterday I didn't eat hardly at all simply because yeah, I couldn't. Anyways, so now I'm back. I'm feeling a little bit better. Like my stomach still hurts, but I don't feel like I'm dying. So that's why I'm back on here. I did do some charting. Did I do charting last? No, I think I did it this morning because I could not even get on my computer last night. Like I couldn't see, my eyes, my head, everything hurt. Okay. Um, and then what's that? It's my computer. It's my work computer sounding like a waterfall. Okay. And then it was Jaden's birthday yesterday. So, I had some things planned, but yeah, wasn't able to do everything because, why did I have to choose that day to try that canned food? Ugh. It's still in my fridge. I need to throw it away. But yeah. So, anyways, today's Christmas Eve. The markets are closed. They closed early, and I don't think they're gonna reopen until probably after. Yeah, they're probably not gonna reopen until like probably like 4 or 5. What time is it? I think the market opens at 5. Yeah, so it's not gonna open until 5 on Christmas Day, probably, or the next day. I'm not 100% sure, but it's closed. It closed early. Um, so this is what I did yesterday. Wait. Yeah, this is what I did. So I finished charting for yesterday, and then I was doing this morning. So this is where I stopped at this one right here, I think. Unless I went somewhere. Nope. Okay, that's where I stopped. So I put a line at where I stopped so that I know which point to come back to. Yeah. Anyways, so now we're just gonna go. Apparently, there were 10 between. I think I started counting from last night. It doesn't matter. It's 10 and 2. So we're just gonna keep going from this point. Count them all up and then yeah. Okay. So this one would be next. Yeah, no music today. I need to get ready for bed. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so that's a easy no trade. Then we have a short right here. That's one. Okay. No trade. bad. Okay, so that's one bad. One bad, one good. Okay, keep going. See, it turned that good one to a bad one. What happened? Because the pullback ended up being a deeper pullback. Okay. Bad, good. This one. Right there. No trade. No trade. Oops. Oh yeah, this is where I was. This is where I came in. Right here. That's too good. And then this one. No trade. So we got two good, one bad. We got hold up. Okay. Two good, one bad. Three good, one bad. Let's see. No. 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 Four good. Five. Six. That one was a barely, but it was still six with a lot of drawdown. And then, oh wait, hold on. I didn't look at this part. Okay. And that's a no trade. Okay. We got 3, 6. Okay. So now let's go enter this. Right here. Oops. So we got 16. Oh, sorry. We got 19. 16. Almost at the end of week 1 with almost 100 trades. I mean, we're trying to hit 100 trades. Our equity curve is exactly 0. So at the end of the day, you haven't made any money, even though technically wins are at 44,000, but then their losses are at 44,000 as well. So, but, we're still working on that. Right? If only you could take only the wins. Then you'd be up there at 44,000 after 2 weeks. Okay, now there's gonna be no trading tomorrow, so I probably won't even be on until the day after Christmas. So, yeah, I gotta go take a shower, get ready for bed, etc., etc. It's already 9 o'clock almost. Okay, but it's been fun. It's been fun. But yeah, anyway, so that's all I have. Um, One thing I noticed, okay, so here's, and let me start over with this. So here's what I noticed whenever a trade loses, right? So one thing I noticed about losing trades is either a couple of things are happening. Either one, it's chopping and turning into a deeper pullback, like we saw. Let me see if I can find it. Where was it? It was a short and it turned into a deeper pull. I think it was somewhere around here or something. But yeah, so it looked like it was gonna be good, right? But then it turned into a deeper pullback. Like for example, this was a pullback, and then it started chopping, and then it pulled back even more, and then it decided to go down, but then it decided to completely kind of reverse. Anyways, so trying to distinguish between, and that's one thing that it's really hard to do, right? How do you distinguish between, um, are you at the end of a trend? How deep is the pullback gonna go? And yeah, so that's why um looking at market structure is key, and also looking at what was I gonna say? Looking at market structure, yes, but also looking at volume and interest, because if there, let's say, okay, this is where I was earlier today, but I wasn't really trading it, but this is what happened. So we came all the way down here. How do we know once we passed here? So let's say, okay, so we've been selling since, I don't know, 7. We sold and sold, and then we bought all the way back up here, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, maybe we can hold this. But then we chop around, we dip back down, and then we kind of explode up for a couple of minutes, but then that momentum just very quickly died. Like from this point to this point, our lowest was around 8:30 and our highest was at their 8:35. So within 5 minutes, although granted this is open, but within 5 minutes this explosive move just completely reversed. And between the highest 8:35 to where it dropped down was 3 minutes. So it dropped down here within 3 minutes. So 3 or 4 minutes. So yeah, it moved very quickly, and so you would have had to be very decisive. Okay, boom, you're in. And where was the pullback during this entire moment? So here was our peak. When we dropped all the way down, there was a brief moment between 8:37 and 32 seconds and 49 seconds. So there was a what? 7, 9. There was like a 16-second window. I think that's 16. Hold on. Let's do math. What's the difference between 49 and 32? Oh, I don't know. Maybe 17. Okay, doesn't matter. The point is, um, there was only a few seconds between when we popped up and then we just came right back down, because this popped up at 49 and then it popped down and created a new one at 55, right? So that's 6 seconds. This happened in 6 seconds, which is where you're wanting to boom, get right in, just get right in. But yeah, so that's kind of one of the things what I'm looking for is I'm looking for those, because then look at this right here. Look at what happened here. We had a pullback and then we continued. Very brief pullback that happened for a couple seconds, continue. But then what happened? Then we had a pullback that happened for a couple seconds, but it didn't continue, and then it just dropped off, right? But this was a big pullback into a larger sell. sell heavy. But the point is, when I'm seeing losses, it's things like this. It's things specifically where you have a pullback and then you're wanting to enter here, right? Like right here, pullback, enter, continuation, pullback, enter, but then it completely just nope, zoom, and comes all the way back down. This is where I'm seeing the most losses are ones where you're getting in, but the trend is there's no more buying interest or selling interest or whatever, and then it completely just goes the other way because you got in at the end. And sometimes it's not even like a trend, sometimes it's just a brief pullback within a trend, but you're still getting in at the very end of something that completely reverses. Now, the other thing that I see happen um, are things like this, where let's say ignore these two right here. Let's see if we can see it a little better. I'm gonna okay. All right. So let's say this was the entry. Let's say this was the pullback and this was the entry. Um, I don't know, maybe the pullback entry. I don't know. But the other things I'm seeing are when it pulls back just a couple bricks too far and then it continues. I mean, this was kind of an example. I mean, it did pull back quite a bit, but let's say you entered here. Okay, that would have been fine. Not really, because all of this is green, so you wouldn't have entered it anyways. Um, but no, like just having pullbacks when and then it turning into a deeper pullback or it turns into some sort of a chop. Um, yeah, chop. That's the other one. But yeah, the main one I'm seeing is when it's a pullback, what you think is a pullback. For example, did this pullback and then you enter, um, yeah, like a pullback, you enter and then it's like, yeah, you know what? I don't know. And then it reverses, right? Because you could have sat in this and then it completely goes the other way. Um, and so that's what I'm seeing is entering at the top of entering at the end of something, entering at the beginning of chop, and then yeah, just entering it when it's not trending, when it's no longer trending. So how do you know that the market's going to continue trending, that there's enough interest in buying, selling, whichever direction, that there's enough interest in the direction, um, that it's going to continue to move price. So maybe looking for price targets, like if we're here, what's the next price target? Sazio just came running in. Now he's crawling under the bed. I thought he wanted to go outside, but I guess he just crawled under the bed. So he's fine. Anyways, so yeah, those are the and I also kind of wrote this out a little bit too. Let's see. So I can remember. Oops. Okay, let's go to my notes. Yeah, so ranging. So the biggest types of losses, and this is what we were seeing that one day where we had, remember this day, um, when there were so many losses. This one, when there was a 40% day. Um, so what was happening was the market was ranging very wide. So it was ranging within probably, 40 ticks or something. I don't exactly remember, but it was ranging pretty wide. And so what was happening was it was giving entries, but it was always at the top and then it completely went back the other way. And so or it was at the bottom and then you'd enter and then it would go back the other way. So ranging markets, no. This does not like ranging markets. And then what was the other one I said? Okay, yes. Ranging markets and then a pullback that turns into a reversal or a deeper pullback. Those are the and I'm gonna say pullbacks that turn into a reversal or a deeper pullback, but it's kind of a reversal. Anyways, those are the biggest things I'm seeing are when this loses is it's pulling back too far or there's a um yeah, or it's ranging. And we had a decent movement today. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just very it's very nuanced. Seeing these numbers is not bad. It's just, our equity curve based on our risk to reward is zero. So, yeah. And you know, that's after 2 weeks, not even a full 2 weeks. So, you know, I'd like to see oops. I'd like to see what this does later. But anyways, gonna wrap it up.